You're listening to Everyday Emergency, a podcast from Doctors Without Borders.
Hi, I'm Amber Dowell from Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders, and this is Everyday Emergency. Today, we're talking about a groundbreaking project which has changed the lives of thousands of people caught up in conflict zones in the Middle East and beyond. In armed conflict, people who survive bomb blasts, gunshot wounds, and incendiary devices can face long-term, devastating injuries. The health systems in their own countries, stretched to the limit by the pressures of war, often cannot provide the specialist care that they need. So, in 2006, MSF launched a different type of project. It seemed simple, but the idea was groundbreaking at the time. A hospital that could offer this care in a stable country to the people who needed it most. MSF's Reconstructive Surgery Hospital in Amman, Jordan, was born. We're about to hear from our colleague, Rula Marafeh, a physiotherapist who's worked at the hospital since 2018.
Yes, actually, we are receiving patients widely, mostly from the Middle East, Yemen, Iraq, Syria, Palestine, West Bank, and now from Gaza, we have a good number of patients, as well as we have from Sudan, Somalia. In reconstructive surgery here, we are receiving a widely range of patients starting, let's say, by the age from children to elderly patients, wide range of injuries starting from the fractures, orthopedic cases, maxillofacial cases, destructions on their mandibles, jaws, as well as for the burned patients. What are we providing here is a reconstructive surgeries followed by a rehabilitation program, physiotherapy and occupational therapy and mental health, actually.
As you say, these are life-changing traumatic injuries. Can you tell us a bit about how patients come to be injured?
Yeah, most of our patients actually acquired their injuries from the war. They are in the war zones, from the explosions, gunshot wounds, and from the landmines. We have some patients after destruction that's happened in Gaza, as you all know. We have a limited number of patients that they came with road traffic accidents, but they are so poor they don't have any insurance from other Middle East countries. So we are covering all this kind of injuries here.
And can you describe some of the challenges faced by these patients?
Yes, actually, there's a lot of challenges that the patients encounter from the injury itself, and then when are reaching our hospital, including physical limitation like muscle atrophy. They have some psychological trauma. Sometimes they have social stigma. The trauma they have endured is not just physical, but emotional and mental as well. Patients may feel frustrated by their limitation, sometimes fear they will never fully recover again. So as a team, actually, here we offer a holistic care for our patients, not only focusing on rehabilitation exercises, but also providing emotional support. Actually, we always encourage our patients to celebrate their small victories. And victory, it's a celebration for us and for them. And we are really work together to help them progress at their own pace. So we always, in our rehabilitation, remind the patient that any progress is possible and it's worth the efforts from them themselves. And by the end of the rehabilitation program for the patients and after the surgery, the patient discharged not only physically stronger, but also they are emotionally empowered. And that's the thing that make us proud to join them in the journey.
Okay, so you've talked there about the holistic approach. I wonder if you could tell us a bit about how surgery and physiotherapy, which is your specialist area, work together to help the patient on their recovery journey.
Yeah. Let's say the physiotherapy and surgery are like a circle. Everyone continue the other. Surgery is a vital first step in many cases, but actually physiotherapy is a crucial for long-term recovery of the patients. It's not about always like some people thought that the physiotherapy is only for the recovery of the surgery. Sometimes there is essential role in preventing the need, let's say, for additional surgeries, or even in some cases we are eliminating the surgeries, and that's happened here for some patients that they have a nerve injuries. Let's say we need a targeted rehabilitation to improve our patients, detail the program, and every patient has his own story, and everyone he need a problem solving and determination from physiotherapy. So we are reducing the severity of certain conditions that might otherwise require surgical intervention.
Can I ask you to speak just a tiny bit slower? You're saying so many interesting things, and I just want to make sure that our listeners can keep up with how interesting it is.
Yeah.
So
you need me to
just a little bit slower.
To be slower?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is one of my problems in speaking English. I'm so fast, and this is not my native language, I'm in trouble always in this thing.
That's so impressive.
Okay, good to tell me. Thank you, Amber.
When I try and speak, I speak very bad French, and I'm so slow. So I'm very impressed that you're so quick in English.
Yeah, you know what? I'm like this also in Arabic. So it's the same issue,
Yeah. Well, you've got a lot of ideas. You want to get them out.
Okay. I will try to be slower. I promise you to be slower.
Okay. So can I ask you, can you tell us about any particularly memorable patients that you've had?
One of the success story actually I remember was a little boy with 9 years old. He came alone without parents from Syria to our project. He has a lot of problems, soft tissue and fractures in the lower limbs, a problem in his left eye. Actually, he underwent more than one surgery, but finally he finished with the amputation in both lower limbs actually. And after that, we started our journey of rehabilitation program for the strengthening of the lower limbs, release the joint from the tightness, shaping the stump to have a good prosthesis. After that program, now we moved to try the prosthesis, and with him, actually, we tried more than one type to finally reach the best with him. After a long program with gait training and walking outside and inside the hospital, he left us very happy, smile in his face, praying for us. He was one of our family. We all cried because he stayed with us for maybe 5 or 6 years. He left to Syria with his uncle, very happy and walking. And that's really rewarding for us seeing and witnessing like these situations.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Rula. You mentioned there that the little boy had to make multiple visits to the hospital over 5 or 6 years. I wonder what would happen to patients if this hospital didn't exist?
Actually, if the hospital didn't exist, we can face a lot of problems for the patients in the Middle East. Actually, most of the places around Jordan has conflicts, wars, and there is a lot of patients. So this hospital is located in a strategic location in the Middle East. Jordan is a safe area for them compared to the war-torn areas around it, and it's the only chance for them to escape certain deaths. Actually, the patients in Yemen, Iraq, in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Palestine, they have a lot of cases that they had chronic infection that it's a certain death, actually, if it's not treated. So some patients will die from the complications, from the infections that they have, and there is no possibility to treat them. Other patients, they left with permanent disabilities, will face significant challenges in daily life. So this hospital actually is the safest hospital to collect all that patients. They are in low-income countries. They are in the war zones. Actually, the safest place to have their treatment and the continuity of care. This hospital provides a critical foundation for the rehabilitation, and without it, the outcome could be much poorer, both physically and mentally for the patients. In the other side, some countries will be impacted indirectly because here we are like a training center. We train physiotherapists in other missions that they couldn't have a good training, and we have a physio that they have a detachment to other countries to support rehabilitation there for Ukraine, for Iraq, for Syria, to support their mission. So the impact not only will be actually on the patients, and also will be in the other missions as well.
So really, this hospital is benefiting patients in conflict zones around the world. You mentioned there that you're taking patients from Gaza.
Yes, actually, we have a good number that we are receiving from Gaza. We have a good number of patients. Before we received 10 patients with a serious problem. Some of them have a serious infection that could lead to amputation, but thanks God, we preserved them from amputation. We did just debridement for the bone and for the soft tissue, and then external fixation. They started a physiotherapy program for strengthening of their muscles to get them walk again. Some of them have fractures. A good number have burns, and serious burns, actually, second degree and third degree. They underwent skin grafts, flap, and a holistic program from physiotherapy for scar rehabilitation, actually. And recently, we have 2 months ago, or maybe less, we have 4 patients. They have a serious problems. They came. One of them came dependent on wheelchair, has fractures on both lower limbs, and he went also for debridement and. External fixation. He started to have physiotherapy. This case actually is credible for us because he came on wheelchair. He was frustrated. You know how much the pain they have. He witnessed the killing of his 2 brothers in front of his eyes. He just 8 years old male. So you can imagine how is the frustration that he has. So after physiotherapy, after the emotional support, after we secure him and tell him to be ensure that he is in the family here also in Jordan, and there is no any insecure situations. He now really happy, and after physiotherapy program, he's walking again now on walker, and sometimes he's still active patient. He started to walk on crutches as well. There was a limitation in his knees. There is not able to be extended. There is extensive physiotherapy program happening for him, for this patient especially. There is incredible results, actually. We're so proud. He's now really strong, and we are really proud of the results.
Rula, you mentioned a little bit there about helping young patients feel secure, feel safe. Can you tell me a bit more about what it's like working with children at the hospital?
For the children's, they always need someone to be patient with them. They can't tolerate the pain. They can't tolerate strange situations. They need to be secure all the time. Some of them came without their mothers, and this is the most difficult cases, actually. For these cases, we are trying, before starting any physical exercises, just to ensure that emotionally they are stable with us. They are used to speak with us, to play with us. We're treating them somehow, let's say, like a play therapy, starting with playing, telling stories, and then after they reassured and they feel that they are comfortable in the same place, we start to have the exercises time by time, and over time, when they see the results, physically they are better, they start to really have the smiles on their faces again. But for the children, it's not easy, actually. It's just like adults.
Your work sounds like it's very, very intense. That must have an effect on you.
You know, we are all human, and we all feel how the others feel. At the beginning, when I work with MSF, actually, I couldn't sleep from thinking about the patients, about their stories. They are really comfortable to share their stories with us because they know that we are deep listeners for them, and we are here to support them. Actually, at the first, it was really horrible for me just to hear the stories, to see what is going in the world. But with time, actually, we coped with these situations, and we just need to give them support emotionally, psychologically, to give them a chance to live again. So any physical progress for them is also reflected on the emotional. When they feel that they are independent, they can serve themselves, they also reflected in their psychological status. For us now, we really have a passion with the stories of the patient, especially now the patients from Gaza, because everyone is came with witnessing a number of his families killing in front of his eyes, with destructions of the homes, with nothing left in their country. This support for the patients is also support for us. So when I see any patient that he's smiling again, it's also my heart smiles again, actually.
That's beautiful, Rula. I wonder, you've started a little bit already, if you could tell us about your favourite parts of your job.
Let's say my favorite part is seeing the resilience of the human. When our patients came to us with a little hope, and then there is a progress, and we witness their transformation, which is not just physical recovery, but also they got emotional strength as well, is something really giving me strength as well, not only for the patients. So when we reach any milestone, even small ones, it's incredibly rewarding to know I have been part of this journey. I'm really proud of that. It reminds me that the power of rehabilitation to restore body and the spirit is the essential work for us. The most important favorite thing for me is just let's say two things. First one is treating the children, especially the children that came without their mothers, because I am a mother and I have a daughter and know how the children feels without their mothers. I like to give the emotional support they need. I like to play with them, even in the session and without the session. I always prepare the games for them. Toys for them, some gifts for them, because the children, they need someone special to speak with them in a proper way. And I like when they give me hugs after the session. This is the most favorite thing for me, actually, after the session. The second thing is giving a training, actually, providing the training for the even MSF or the MSF students or university students, actually, is rewarding for me. I like to share my experience and to see how they applying that knowledge in real world situation. And the thing that I really surprised when I provided a training for the university students, that they didn't know about the importance of the humanitarian work. So I increased the awareness about the importance of the humanitarian work, particularly within an organization like MSF, that is known as transparency, neutrality, dedication, and helping others in the world of crisis and war. And really, I'm so proud to be part of MSF.
That was our colleague Rula Marafeh speaking from MSF's Reconstructive Surgery Hospital in Amman, Jordan. If you'd like to find out more about MSF's work with survivors of armed conflict, or to make a donation, visit www.msf.org.uk or click the link in our show notes. That was Everyday Emergency. Thanks for listening.
For more true stories from the front line of medical emergencies, subscribe via your podcast provider or visit msf.org.uk/podcast.